Good morning. I hope everything is going well with you. This is the History 131, our third week. I hope you have been viewing the material I posted, the lecture, the PowerPoint, but the most important thing is the study guide. The study guide will help you prepare for your upcoming test, which is scheduled for September 9th, which is next Wednesday. Please review your study guide and you'll be A-OK. There are no assignments in this class. The only assignment is a 5-page research paper. So ignore those notifications from Blackboard. Make sure you do the checklist, and that's all you have to do. Today, we're going to go to chapter 3, and we're going to look at ancient India. India is a subcontinent. It's not a continent, but it's a huge landmass. Its geography varies greatly from mountains in the north, jungles on the coast, deserts inland, and it is a peninsula, so surrounded by water on 3 sides. And to the north, it is bound by the Himalaya Mountains, the tallest mountain range on Earth. The only entrance from Asia and Europe into the subcontinent is through a narrow path called the Khyber Path. But like in Mesopotamia and Egypt, civilization emerged in India alongside a river called the Indus River. And before the coming of the Aryans, this is the group of people I've been describing to you, the Indo-European or the Caucasians. Remember, we talked about the Persians. They were Indo-Europeans. This is the second group of Indo-Europeans that are on the move, moving about the world that they live in. The Aryans were part of the enormous movement of these people. And most information we get from the Aryans comes from the Rig Vedas, the oldest and most sacred of the Hindu scriptures. But between 1500 and 500 BCE, the Aryans had moved into the subcontinent and subdued the indigent people there. And thus began the synthesization of the culture, producing an entirely new Indian society. So social contact between the Aryans and the natives led to the development of what we call a caste system. A caste is a hereditary class of social equals who share the same religions, pursue the same occupation, avoid social intercourse with members of other castes. At the bottom of this caste system was a group called the Untouchables, or the Sutras. They were considered to be undesirables. They earned their living slaughtering animals and dressing skin. Okay, let's try to recapture this caste system. Basically, the white, a lighter skinned Aryan came into the subcontinent and subdued the natives who were darker skinned and placed them at the lowest echelon of the caste system that they were establishing. Now, before the Aryans came, there were people already there. Civilization, broad, vastly established civilization, the Arapapan. These people were so advanced they laid out a town, had city streets, had indoor plumbing, very well structured. But they were subdued by the Aryans and forced to become a part of their caste system. Now, the Aryans' religion they brought with them in their Vedas, there were many gods, so they're polytheistic, but the religion is centered around rituals. They practice asceticism, which means to do without. self-denial. They also believe in samsara. Don't you forget this one. Samsara means the transmigration of souls by a continuous process of rebirth or reincarnation. So, the Aryans believe that the body dies, but the soul migrates to another living creature. It could be an animal, it could be another human, it could be a plant. The migration of soul, samsara. This is at the center of Hinduism and Buddhism. We'll talk more as we go along. So, India's spiritual flowering took place during the 5th and 6th century BC. The period gave rise to three of the world's greatest religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Now, many of you have already contacted me about your topic to write on. Buddhism is a great topic. Now, Hinduism is the earliest of these three religions. It is a guide of life whose goal was to reach Brahma, which was the manifestation of all Hindu gods. In the quest, people have to observe Dharma, which was the moral law. We call it our soul, which stipulate the legitimate pursuit of Hindus and the release from the wheel of life and unity with the great soul in order to reach nirvana. So a Buddhist and a Hindu, they believe in the samsara, reincarnation, and depending on how you live here on earth is determining which soul you'll come back at. But their challenge is to be released from this continuous rebirth. Unlike Christians, Jews, and Muslims who believe in an afterlife, the Hindus and Buddhists believe in the great soul called Brahma. And their quest is to stop being reborn and to live in bliss or nirvana. The Jain was founded by Mahara Jain. He believed that to know eternal bliss and living lives of asceticism and avoiding the evil thoughts and action, they considered all life was to be sacred and not to be destroyed. The Jains today, they invented a concept called vegetarianism, since they will rate all life as being valuable and precious. At the top will be human, at the second level will be animals, and at the bottom will be plants. So in order to keep them starving, they turned to eating plant food. They became the world's first vegans. Remember that, the Jains. Now, we know about Buddhism, which was founded by Siddhartha Gautama, which means the enlightened one. He is associated more with Asian culture than India culture, but Buddhism starts in India and it is transferred to Southeast Asia. So if you're Thai, or Vietnamese, or Korean, or Chinese, or Japanese, more than likely you are a Buddhist. And he is the founder of that. Let's go into this religious belief. Let's look at the caste system first, though. The Aryans, as I told you, at the bottom place blacks. There are, 4 castes. At the top would be the Brahmin, or the priests. And then at the second caste would be the Kshatriyas. These were the warriors. And then you had the Valyas, who were the commoners, or artisan, and at the bottom you had the untouchables. This system has been outlawed by modern India, but it's still being practiced even today. Daily life in ancient India is no different than in Egypt and Mesopotamia. People trying to survive. Women's are considered a possession of man. They are not fully considered to be equal with man. They are subdued, they are obligated to obey their husband when they're adults and to obey their fathers when they're children. The economy was mostly agricultural with fishing and seafaring. That's how they survived. But what we mostly want to talk about is this religion of escaping the wheel of life, the religion of the world of the ancient Indian. I told you that they had come into the subcontinent, subdued the Dravidian, the Arapavan culture, and instituted this belief system, this caste system. Hinduism is the origin, and their primary god was the warrior god Indra. But they instituted their belief system and the practice of asceticism and samsara, or the reincarnation. So Buddhism is probably the world's oldest religion. But about the 6th century BCE, there arose a man named Siddhartha Gautama, the enlightened one, the Buddha. He was born in a very, very well subdued warrior family called Kshatriyas. Living large, got everything he needed, but he was worried. At the age of 29, he discovered the pain of illness, the sorrow of death, and the degradation caused by old age in the lives of ordinary people. And he wanted to try to figure out, why did this occur? From this time on, the Buddha decided to dedicate his life to determining the cause and seeking the cause for human suffering. To find the answer, he began to travel. After many years and wandering and periods of meditation under a tree, he finally achieved enlightenment as to the meaning of life, and spent the remainder of his life preaching it. His conclusion, as embodied in his teaching, became the philosophy or religion of Buddhism. According to the legend, while sitting under the tree, the Buddha was tempted by the devil with riches, with beautiful women, yet he resisted. But now he began to teach his teaching, the enlightenment, which is a derivative of Hinduism. It's just like in our faith of Christianity, you have the Catholic Church and then you have Protestant Church. So Buddhism is a branch of Hinduism. He could be referred to as a Martin Luther, who started the Protestant movement in the West. But there were key difference in the existing Hindu practice in a number of key ways. The Buddha denied the existence of an individual soul. He believed in the great soul. To him, the concept of Atman, the individual soul, meant that the soul was subject to rebirth and thus did not achieve a complete liberation from the cares of the world. But listen, you may find this fascinating. He denied the ultimate reality of the material world in its entirety and taught that our surroundings, the physical surroundings, were illusion. Real. What's real? What's an illusion? How many of you have seen the Matrix movie? Neo. He's an anomaly. Everyone is living in a pod, and everything is being assimilated by the machines. The writers of the Matrix were Buddhists. This is the concept, that we're living in an illusion. This is not real. Great movies, by the way. But his idea of achieving nirvana was based on his conviction that pain, poverty, sorrow that afflicts human beings are caused essentially by their attachment to the things of this world. He's saying that because you're human, you're going to experience pain, sorrow, depression, anxiety, all of the isms that makes you feel well. If you didn't, you would not be human. But once one recognize these things and they are abandoned, pain and sorrow can be forgotten. With this knowledge comes wisdom. Let's think about it for a minute. If you're human, you go through periods of a blue period of being depressed. Now, what makes you depressed? Basically, you are focusing on self. You don't like the way you look. You don't like what you made on the test. She can run faster than I can. He's taller than I am. Basically, you are focusing on self. How do you break out of depression? Putting the effort away from self and focusing on others. But that depression is a part of our state. And this is a temporary state. It's like happiness and sadness. You win the lottery today, you are happy. Next week, your mother is taken vastly ill. Now you are sad. You go from happiness to sadness. This is the range of emotion. This is the part of being human. Now, in order to break this constant rebirth, this wheel of life, the Buddha provides an path. He calls it the Eightfold Path. But first you have to recognize the Four Noble Truths. Life is full of sorrow, pain, suffering, poverty, and anxiety. Okay. So to correct that, the way this end, the suffering is the end desire, and the way the end desire is to avoid the stream of life, of vulgar materialism and a life of self-torture, and to follow the middle path. The middle path, also known as the Eightfold Way, calls for right knowledge, right purpose, right speech, right conduct, right occupation, right effort, right awareness, and right meditation. Let's talk about that meditation. How many of you have seen the movie What Love Got to Do with It? Tina Turner. I would beat her, eat the cake anime. One of my favorite lines in the movie. If you die on me anime, I kill you myself. But as Ike Turner would brutalize and beat Tina Turner, she would go and visit a friend and they would do Buddhist chant. That's how she survived that horrendous period in her life with Ike Turner. Now, Tina went on and became a superstar. But she is a Buddhist. Of course, the religion takes off from India and moved first to Burma, Thailand, and the rest of Southeast Asia. And this is the major religion of Asia. The major religion of India is Hinduism, but Buddhism started in India. Don't forget the Eightfold Path, the Four Noble Truths, Buddhism, and how the goal is to reach Nirvana. Now that's going to end this chapter on this. I don't think I have anything else to tell you. Study your study guide, and next Wednesday all day you can take your test online. If you have any questions, feel free to call, text me, or FaceTime me, or send me an email message. Be blessed and have a good week. Thank you.